Hello there. Hope everybody's doing great. I'm thrilled that we are together today, and we're going to be doing some more Psalm magic. Today we're working on Psalm 24. So in these videos, Psalms are the thing. So this is our primary importance is the Psalm, but we are also incorporating other elements of the Pauline art, and that's working with angels and talismans. You do not need to include these things in your practice right now if you do not want to, or ever. The Psalms are enough. The Psalms will give you maximal results. There will be further videos, if there aren't already, depending on when you're watching this, that will explain more about how to work with angels and talismans. But I will kind of guide you through it. So today in my world happens to be Sunday, and Sunday is sacred in my system and the system that I follow to the Archangel of Michael, Archangel Michael. Michael means one with God, and he is the leader of the pack, basically. He's the head honcho of the angels. Okay, so I start, when I do these talismans, I make a circle, and you've probably seen this before, unless this is your first time with me, and I leave a little opening somewhere in the circle. And then what we do is we sign our name, and for us, instead of signing my name only, I'm going to sign all viewers. I'm going to do this. So whether you are watching this past, present, or future, you're included. All right. And then what we do is we choose some single English words that are power words for us that represent the light that is dispelling the darkness of whatever problem we are presenting to the psalm for healing. So today, since it's Michael's day, I'm going to, I always like to always have at least one of those words be peace or serenity, something like that. Because if you're in a state of peace and or serenity, chances are the bulk of your problems have been taken care of, because you have nothing to worry about. So I'm going to put peace as number one here. Then I put a hyphen. I'm going to put joy. I'm going to put happiness. I'm going to put freedom. And I'm going to put security. One, two, three, four, five. I like to use five, an odd number of of anything when I'm working magic, because that denotes change and motion. An even number represents staying. Okay, it's staying the same. Then what we do is we close the circle, and it doesn't have to be all gorgeous and perfect. You can just do it freehand. So then we just close that circle. It's real simple. And what we're doing, in effect, by doing that, is we are trapping the energies of these power words within the circle, so that they're focused like a laser beam to the person or persons that are named within the talisman, and that's you and me and everybody else that's watching this. And then and anybody that doesn't want peace, joy, happiness, freedom, and security, they can refuse it, and that's just fine. Okay. Now, I like to use magical perfumes. You do not have to. Now, you can go to the occult store and get their perfumes. That's fine. I just like to use, there's a few just commercial single note perfumes that I find that work just wonderfully for me, and I like the smell of them. So my bottom line that I use is Van or Vervain or Verbena. And so I just have a commercial, Provence Santé is the name of the is the brand name of this one. It's beautiful. It's just a commercial verbena cologne, and so I'm going to put 2 spritzes, It's an even number, so I want to put an odd number of something. So I'm going to put 1 spritz of some orange blossom perfume, which in my working is sacred to Mikael. So I'm going to do that. So, and again, you don't have to do any of that, or you could just use Van Van, or you know, we will cover a lot of that stuff later. And then I put the symbol of the planet that is ruled by the angel that I'm working with, and today that's the symbol of the sun on Sunday, to bring the angelic energies in to the talisman. All right. Then I stick just a plain white candle, just a small little tea light. It doesn't have to be a big deal. You can use colored candles. You can get into. I mean, if you are from like a hoodoo tradition and you have all the jazz that you guys do, you're more than welcome to bring that into it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I like to keep everything very simple, very streamlined, because my focus is not on the system. My focus is on the intent and the results. So I don't want to get too encumbered with, you know, the colors and the potions and all of that stuff. So today we are working with Psalm 24, one of the Contractual Psalms. It's a shorter psalm, and it's a beautiful psalm. So we start out by just praying the psalm out loud as an incantation, and then we go through it line by line and allow each of those thoughts to sink into our deep mind, where they will achieve the results that we are seeking. All right, Psalm 24. The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. For he hath founded it upon the seas, and established it upon the floods. Who shall ascend into the hill of the Lord? Or who shall stand in his holy place? He that hath clean hands and a pure heart, who hath not lifted up his soul into vanity, nor sworn deceitfully. He shall receive the blessings from the Lord, and righteousness from the God of his salvation. This is the generation of them that seek him, that seek thy face, O Jacob. Selah. Lift up your heads, O ye gates, and be ye lift up, ye everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Who is this King of glory? The Lord strong and mighty, the Lord mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, O ye gates, even lift them up, ye everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Who is this King of glory? The Lord of hosts. He is the King of glory. Selah. All right, so it's a beautiful psalm, these truths. The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof. Yes, the earth, the planet Earth, but for us, meaning all of the manifest things in our lives. All of the manifest things in our lives. If there's a problem in our life that is plaguing us, that is inharmonious or negative or causing us problems, it is because we are not recognizing that even that is the Lord's. If you look into the New Testament, Jesus gives a really very pithy instruction as to how to make magic work, how to make your prayers effective, and that is, in nothing be anxious. In nothing be anxious, he said, but instead bring your needs in prayer to God in a spirit of thanksgiving, right? So if there's something that's wrong, it's because you haven't given it to God. So the earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. So remember that no matter what you're looking at, you want to see the presence of God, and you will see the transformation take place before your very eyes. For he hath founded it upon the seas and established it upon the floods. Now the seas and the floods in this case represent all of the turbulence of this world, all the turbulence of our lives, all the comings and goings of our problems, right? But if God has founded it upon those seas, the earth that is upon those seas, and you are looking to God for your supply, you are looking to God as your source, then regardless of all of the rocking that is going on about you, you are taken care of in the midst of all of that. Who shall ascend into the hill of the Lord, or who shall stand in his holy place? He that hath clean hands and a pure heart, who hath not lifted up his soul into vanity, nor sworn deceitfully. So how do you get a clean hands and pure heart? Through purification. And what is the purification that is necessary? That is forgiveness. So you can't come to this work and expect to get something for yourself, to get the blessings and the miracles and the magic, if you are holding resentments towards yourself or another person. It just can't work. So no matter who it is, you may have had, I know I have, people that have really betrayed me, that have really wronged me, that have created a lot of havoc in my life, right? And it's very easy to want to desire their destruction, to want to see their destruction, to want to know that they are going to be punished. And if you hear of something wonderful happening for them, it's really easy to see and feel the injustice of that. No. Instead, we say, I forgive you, and I literally wish you the best. I wish you happiness. I wish you all the blessings of life, and I want the very, very best for you. Because when you do that, then you are clearing the path for those things to come to you. And you have a clean hands and a pure heart. You've not lifted up your soul into vanity, and you've not sworn deceitfully. Because swearing deceitfully would be to say that he deserves the wrath of God, because you don't know. That's not up to you. That's your lie. He shall receive the blessing from the Lord and righteousness from the God of his salvation. So when you come to God with a clean hand and a pure heart, you are going to receive the blessing. You will receive the blessing and the righteousness from the God of his salvation. Now, righteousness is right-mindedness, right thinking, all things put in their right place. It's all crooked places made straight. It's all the untying of the knots in your life. That's righteousness. And salvation means the answering of your prayer, the working out of the problem. And it's working out in a way that's even better than you could have possibly imagined. That's salvation. This is the generation of them that seek him, that seek thy face, O Jacob. Selah. Now Jacob is the person, it represents that part of you that is making a new choice. Okay, I'm not going to believe in the problem. I'm not going to worry. I'm not going to try to figure this out myself. I'm not going to try to take the matters into my own hands. Instead, I'm going to try something different. I'm going to look to God instead. I'm going to look to the power of the solution, right? And then Selah means sit for a second and think about that. Selah means Lift up your heads, O ye gates, and be ye lift up, ye everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Okay, so these aren't the gates of heaven. These are your gates. These are the gates of what we call your mental shield. These are the things that are causing you to just stay stuck in your problems. Instead, you're going to lift up the gates. The gate is the gate into the property, and the door is the entrance into your dwelling. So you're allowing your entire aura to open up and be willing for the King of Glory to come in. Who is this King of Glory? The Lord, strong and mighty, the Lord mighty in battle. No matter what's going on, you don't have to battle. That's why you have to be anxious for nothing. Because since you've invited God in, since you've invited the King of Glory into the situation, into your heart, into your dwelling, it says here in this particular manifestation of God is the Lord mighty in battle, is going to go and not only fight on your behalf, but there is no one to oppose God. So if God is mighty in battle, that means he can't help but win, because there is nothing to oppose him. If God be for us, who can be against us, is how it goes. One with God is a majority. So who is this King of glory? The Lord, strong and mighty, the Lord mighty in battle. You don't have to worry about being strong enough. You don't have to worry about being smart enough. You don't have to worry about learning how to figure out all the machinations of the problem. All you have to do is lift up the gates. Lift up the gates. Open the gates. Open the doors. Let God come in and allow God to do it on your behalf. It works. Lift up your heads, O ye gates. Lift them up. Even lift them up, ye everlasting doors. And the King of glory shall come in. He won't go, maybe I will, maybe I won't. He shall come in. It's a given. It is a certainty, just like the sun will come up in the morning. You will take another breath. Have you ever tried to just hold your breath when you were a little kid and just like, I'm not going to breathe? How long does that work for? That's the King of glory coming in. He will come in. You must understand that there is no you don't have to supplicate in order for God to come in, but you do have to let him in and stop trying to figure it out yourself. Who is this King of glory? The Lord of hosts. He is the King of glory. So who is this King of glory? The Lord of hosts. The Lord of all armies. Right? The Lord of all armies. Now an army, remember in biblical terms, a strong army was a very important thing because you needed to if you couldn't defeat the enemy would defeat you. So we have a whole in the Pauline arts, we have a whole army of angels on our behalf. Okay, and again, they're not battling in the sense of they're not out there killing people. They're battling darkness, meaning simply that they're turning on the light. That's the battle of light and darkness. There's not that big of a battle. If you've ever noticed how much light and darkness fight, if you go turn on a light in a dark room, you can see how long that battle lasts. Right? There's no battle because there is ultimately no darkness. Darkness ultimately has no principle of itself. It's really just the blockage of light. It's a shadowing, something obscuring the light. So the Lord of hosts, the leader of the divine army, simply means the turning on of the light. The King of glory, that which glows. That's what glory is, that which glows. So the King of light, right? So light is being shed, cast on your problem. And since you've lifted up the gates, you've opened the doors, you are no longer protecting the problem, meaning that you're no longer thinking that protecting yourself somehow was going to help you. What you've been doing is keeping the light out. Now that you've opened the doors and opened the gates, the light comes in, it's shed onto the problem, and the problem is seen in its actual true nature, and then it's easy to correct. All the crooked places are made straight. Everything is put where it needs to be, and your solution comes in a divine way. You never know how the manifestation is going to work out. It can work out in the most bizarre way that you never even knew was possible. So, and then it ends with one more Selah, which means let that sink in, right? Selah means let that sink in. Let that sink into your deep mind. Agree with that. All right. So remember that there is no problem that cannot be solved. You don't have to solve it yourself. In fact, it's best if you try not to solve these problems yourself, because you probably are part of the problem itself. So when we open up ourselves to allow the higher power to come in and do it on our behalf, We're not opening ourselves up to some external deity, as is often supposed. We are opening up to our connection to all good. And that connection to all good is connected to us and is actually not only connected to us, but is our source. And all of that other, all of the false part of ourselves starts to get burned away as we are willing to let it go and let it go and let it go. It's really a matter of how quickly we are willing to let things go that determines how long it takes for those problems to be solved, because they can be solved in an instant. If we are willing to literally let go and die to who we thought we were, as Paul says, I die every day. If you're willing to die to the person that you were yesterday, then today you can be a completely different person, and your problems will vanish, and you won't even be recognizable to the people around you. So take it one step at a time, but remember that that there is no problem that cannot be solved, that cannot be solved on your behalf. So I hope this has been helpful to you, and praying those Psalms every single day with the right attitude, right? Looking for those inner meanings of the Psalms, understanding what they really represent to you, and allowing those thoughts to sink deep into your mind so that they can shine away all those dark places. And one tiny speck of truth shines away 10,000 lies at least, right? So if you, that's, the tiny grain of mustard, if you have the faith of a tiny grain of mustard, just that little teeny bit, the psalm will do the work for you if you have just enough faith to let it happen. All right, I love you very much. You are literally in my prayers, and I will see you soon. Now, just in case you don't know how to do this, this is when you have one of these talisman, you want to keep them lying flat like this, and they broadcast this energy to you constantly. So I would put them away in like a cupboard or a drawer where nobody will see them. You want to keep these things private, and but don't put anything on top of it, right? Because you want this energy broadcast. The energy from these English words, the power of those words are broadcasting, and it'll there's no time limit. It'll keep going as long as you have this going. But you don't want more than 3 of these going at a time, because then the energy seems to get diluted, and that means that it's time to deactivate them. And when you deactivate one of these, what happens is this energy then becomes assimilated into your aura, and it becomes even more permanent. And it's very simple to do that. You just rip it, and then you just take a moment to feel all of that power moving throughout your aura.